All right, so this is my 2023-2024 Premier League prediction or tier list, if you will. I'm a avid soccer player, watcher, enthusiast, Premier League enthusiast, Premier League viewer. So I always say I feel like on major networks and whatnot, their predictions do be kind of questionable. I feel like average people that just watch a lot of sports like I do or play a lot of sports like I do can have a really good insight on how the league is actually going to finish. And I really feel like this tier list right here, you may laugh or whatever ahead of time. Let's see how it goes at the end. I was very accurate on my World Cup predictions. Um, and I'm going to take another stab at this one. I think this is my best prediction yet. So without further ado, this is the 2023-2024 English Premier League tier list. Number one, we have Arsenal, and I'm just gonna go like team by team and just kind of like explain the rationale, if you wills. Arsenal, why? Because I feel like they got better than last year, and I feel like if they just do any better than last year, which they got 84 points, 84 points is a lot. A lot of times is enough to win the league. Um, if they just do a little bit better than 84 points, I think they're gonna win the league. And I think they got better in really every facet. I don't think they got any worse. Like they replaced Xhaka with Declan Rice. I would have loved to keep Xhaka. I'm actually an Arsenal fan. I try to be objective with this, yes, but I would have loved for us to keep Xhaka, but I think Declan Rice is probably a better player just in the short term and long term. So, and I think we kept all the key players. Partey. I think the problems that Arsenal had defensively was after Saliba got hurt. I always say after Saliba got hurt, I feel like the whole season changed. We were never the same team after he got hurt. Now we have a capable backup in Jurriën Timber. I always thought Rob Holding was not good. I've never been a fan. He doesn't have pace. I feel like the modern game requires pace. Just look at Harry Maguire. I feel like he lacks pace as well. I feel like that really hurts defenders. But I really believe in this Arsenal team. I think this is the year. It's been a long time, but I think this is the year they win. Next, we have City, Manchester City. Yeah, I mean, I'm again almost the opposite of Arsenal. I'm not sure they got better during the offseason. And a lot of my predictions is just based on just how the team finished last year and then like what the offseason, how their offseason was. And that's usually if a team has a really good offseason, more often than not, they have a good season. I've seen it so many times. But City, I'm not sure they had the greatest offseason. They got rid of Mahrez. Their team got progressively older. I didn't think Haaland looked that great in the Community Shield. They got rid of Gundogan. I believe he was the captain. I like Kovacic. I think he's good, but I'm not sure they replaced star power with star power. Kovacic and Gundogan, you could probably say that's an even swap to some degree. But again, they got rid of Mahrez, and for me, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I feel like he's a very unique player. Gives them a very unique edge, if you wills. So I just don't think they got better than they did last season. And last season would be kind of hard to like one up, if you will. They got the treble. It's hard to do any better than that. I think, and if they win this year, it'd be 4 in a row. I still think they're a great team. That's why I have them second. But I just don't think I don't think they're going to beat out Arsenal this year. Third, we have United. I like United. I just like at the same time, sometimes I just look at their roster. I'm like, who is even good on this team? Like besides Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, I just look at the roster. Now their team is very solid. I have a lot of faith in them. At the same time, they scare me. I think they're like Arsenal's antithesis, if you will, or like Arsenal's like rival in a way. Like there's always been a rivalry, but I feel like they're like the anti-Arsenal team. Like every time we play them, I feel like I worry deeply whenever we play them. I think it's because they have a solid defense. They like to counter. They're a great team, a great coach. They have a lot going for them. And I meant to say before this video even started, I think this will be the most competitive Premier League season ever that I've ever witnessed. There's probably been some way in the past, but since I've been watching for the last 20 years, this is probably going to be the most competitive. Fourth place, we have Liverpool. Now, I love Liverpool. I think as an Arsenal fan, I watched a lot of Arsenal games, and I think Liverpool were like the second best team we versed all last year. Like I was like, wow, this team's really good. Like obviously City was great and United were great, but Liverpool to me looked good when we played them more than most any other team. And I think they're looking for a bounce back season. They had a strong finish to the season last year. They started off kind of slow. I think they worked some of the kinks out, got rid of some dead weight on their team. All the players they got rid of during the offseason, I agree with, and they brought in some good players too. I think this will be a solid team. What's a face? Oh man, I can't remember. Their left winger, he was hurt their whole season, most of the season. He was good. I feel like that was a big miss because they need that's how Liverpool have been successful. They've had strong wingers. They've had Salah and previously Mane. I can't remember the guy, the Colombian guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was out most of last season. I thought he was in when we played them, and I was like, okay, this guy is definitely good. He just seemed like an upper echelon player. He was like doing some tricky stuff out there. He's just looking pretty confident out there. But now that he's back, I feel like their team is back. I feel like this might be Klopp's last stand. You know, I feel like if Klopp fails again, he'll probably consider leaving if they don't finish top four. You know, they're not in the Champions League this year, so I think they'll have some more time and space to really succeed and things like that in the league. They'll focus more on the league. So I definitely feel like they're going to finish top four. Number 5, Chelsea. I would have Chelsea higher, but I like what they did during the offseason too. They had bad coaching and just bad offensive players last year, and they totally fixed. I feel like both of those things. Coach got in Pochettino, coach that knows how to win games and whatnot. Previously they had Frank Lampard, which I still don't know how he got like 2-3 coaching jobs. It's like shocking to me, but yeah, and Graham Potter, I thought he was bad as well. They had very bad coaching last year and just bad offense. Their defense was pretty good last year. Defense was pretty good, and that's why I have a lot of faith in the team. I feel like defense wins championships. They only conceded 38 goals. No, sorry, 47 goals last season. I'd so get fired from ESPN for this. They only conceded 47 goals, but they only scored 38, right? So they play the last year. Their offense was horrible, but they got Nkunku, they got Nicholas Jackson, and they got rid of Kai Havertz, who to me doesn't score a whole lot of goals. Now he did go to Arsenal, which I honestly am not thrilled with that signing. And they got rid of Mount, who also just seemed to not be able to score anymore. And they got some like proven more so like goal scorers and put them up top. They got rid of João Felix, so I feel like was also overrated. João Felix is one of my worst takes of last year. I thought he would be good, and that didn't pan out. But yeah, like this is a team that's kind of on the rebuild. The only reason I don't have them higher is because I'm just not sure how they're going to be. They just got a lot of new pieces in there, so I just can't guarantee a top 4 when there's just that much change. 6th place we have Spurs, who as an Arsenal fan, I always think are trash, but I like their coach. They got a new coach. He gives me Jose Mourinho vibes. I watched like a mini documentary on him. I have a lot of faith in what he's doing. They got rid of Harry Kane. It seems like a rebuild phase. Heung-min Song's kind of old. Like their best players are kind of old and out. But I think they'll keep fighting on. They're still Spurs. I don't think they're gonna dip into this realm. They're still Spurs. I always say like the reason these top brands are always so successful consistently is because like whenever like the transfer value is even, say you're trying to buy the same player and they're trying to choose between going to Liverpool or Fulham, every single time they're going to choose Liverpool. Like every single time, unless they just desperately want to play and get more minutes. But more times than not, they're going to choose the club with more prestige. It's just like where you work right now, or if you work corporate. It's like, would you rather want to work for like just some random like mom and pop shop, or work for like Amazon or something? It just has like more prestige, like it's the same thing with football. That's why these teams are always up there. Newcastle's trying to get up in there. And again, I feel like they're always going to struggle because teams are always going to choose United over Newcastle or even Spurs over Newcastle in most cases, unless they just pay exorbitantly more money. And I feel like it's just hard to get over good branding. It's just hard to beat great branding when you're doing the exact same thing, essentially. Like, they're all playing soccer, like, that's just like business in a nutshell. But anyways, Newcastle, yeah, like, I believe in Newcastle. I believe in Newcastle. They play good defense. I just don't think they're that good. I kind of feel like a lot of teams didn't take them seriously last year, and I think when teams really like start taking them seriously, they're not going to be able to succeed. Also, like they're in the Champions League, and I always feel like that kind of subtracts a couple points in the league. You know, because you have to usually in the Champions League you have to play like your best players in a lot of the games, so they don't get that extra rest. So I think being able to play your best players all the time in the league definitely gives you an advantage. I think that's the advantage Chelsea have this season. I think that's the advantage Liverpool have this season as well. Spurs are just they have that advantage too, but you know. Anyways, just keep it moving. It's kind of like the bottom tier here, mid table and below. I'll spend probably less time on these guys, but you know I do have a take on most every team here. Brighton, really just like eye test. I feel like they're just gonna stay up. When I think of a team that's gonna stay up, the first team I thought of was Brighton, like that's like mid table. Um, I just think they just play good football. They finished sixth last year, right? So like they're a good team. They're a good team. I definitely think they're gonna compete this year too. Although they got rid of McAllister, he went to Liverpool, but I think they'll be competitive this year. Aston Villa, same thing. Now my eye test kind of failed, but the chart test didn't fail. They made the Conference League, I believe, Europa Conference League. Yeah, they're in there. Believe it or not, I personally didn't think they were that good, but now that I think about it, I guess they weren't bad either. They had a winning record last year and a solid team. You know, played good defense. Play good defense. They only conceded 46 goals last year. Not bad, right? West Ham won a trophy last year. I think dang near the only Premier League team besides City to win a trophy last year. So kudos to them. I think that confidence will keep them up alone. A lot of sports is mental. I think that confidence alone will have them up in the league. Just that. Fulham, again, had a good season last year. Kind of a traditional Premier League team. So I think now that they're back, they're going to be very competitive. I think they're going to be hard to push into the relegation zone. Crystal Palace got some talented players. New coach, but talented players. I think their talent will keep them up. Wolves, now we kind of get towards any one of these teams could potentially get relegated. I don't have tremendous amount of confidence in any one of these teams. I really don't. But out of all these, I think Wolves, I mean, they finished 13th last year. I have them 13th finishing this year. I mean, they don't score a lot of goals, which concerns me. But you know, like I said, I could see any of these teams getting relegated. But yeah, Burnley won the championship last year. Good team. Burnley historically played good defense, and I'm a big proponent in defense. I feel like good defense can get you out of a lot of games. Can definitely win you a lot of games. So I think they'll definitely stay up. Same thing with Sheffield. Sheffield finished second in the championship last year. I think they'll stay up just purely based on that momentum. Brentford, I don't have a whole lot of faith in Brentford. I think Ivan Toney still plays on this team. Could be wrong. Hashtag not sure. But you know their mascot's a bee. Don't have a whole lot of faith in them staying up. Everton, this might be the year they go down. I'm gonna say they stay up one more year. They're just such a classic club. Even on their crest that says 1878, they've just been here for so long. It'll be sad to see them drop, but man, you know you got to keep it moving, and it's hard to stay up forever. But I think they'll pull it out just one more year. They still got the brand. They have the brand advantage. I feel like some of these teams got to realize that you got to use the brand advantage sometimes. They got to start using the brand advantage. Now these three teams I think are trash in their own, in a lot of different ways. Bournemouth, I've seen Bournemouth get waxed 9-0 live by Liverpool. And ever since then, I just thought they were trash. I just can't get over that waxing. And I was very surprised they even stayed up. That waxing was incredible. I think Arsenal beat them twice. They're just not a great team to me. And their mascot's weird. Like, I mean, their logo's a little weird to me. Kind of looks like Tron playing soccer. Actually, it no longer looks weird now that I realize it's Tron. Notts County. I mean, lad, this... I know when I get bored, I just started looking at the freaking logos and just criticizing them. This logo to me is just lazy, but kind of good at the same time. Kind of good at the same time, but like it's kind of very basic. Like look at these logos. Like look at this. This is like so detailed. And then you see Notts County. It's like it's the same thing in the NBA and the NFL. I swear, there's always like one or two teams that just have weird logos, and they're always not that good either. It's kind of interesting. I feel like they need to reshape their logo, but you know the Old Faithful probably won't allow it, and the Old Faithful will be cheering for them in the championship. And then we have Luton. They got promoted. I know little to nothing about Luton. Luton Town. I mean this looks like a bar to me. Like this looks like a bar that I would probably go to. With like some lads after like a rugby or like football match, like straight up. That's what I think about Luton Town. In fact, Luton Bar sounds like a bar that I would go to with some lads. So that's my Premier League prediction. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thought a lot about this, you know. Yeah, like I think this is definitely pretty solid. Stay tuned for more. Watch out for the season. I might have some more videos coming soon. Peace out.